Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama was born the son of King Ashoka in Nepal, India. His mother died at a young age, leaving King Ashoka to raise him. Siddhartha lived his childhood as a prince and was sheltered by his father from the pain and suffering of the real world. To do this, his father ensured Siddhartha remained within the palace walls, observing only beautiful people and never witnessing pain, poverty, hardship, or religious ideas. One day, he finally ventured outside of the palace walls, riding in the back of a chariot. Once outside of the palace, Siddhartha was met by the realities of human life. He saw a very old man and realized that people become old and frail. He then witnessed a diseased man, a decaying corpse, and an ascetic wanderer who had renounced the world in search of the end to suffering. His chariot driver explained to him that these things were a part of life. After witnessing these sights, Siddhartha felt that he could not live a sheltered life any longer. He made the choice to leave the palace and lead an ascetic life himself, beginning a journey of self-discovery in search of the end of the suffering. For years, Siddhartha lived an ascetic life by following the guide of religious teachers. He studied and meditated, practicing his new way of life with other ascetics, who later became his followers. One day, Siddhartha encountered an Indian ascetic who encouraged him to follow a life of extreme denial and discipline. He took this advice and resorted to extremes in hopes that this was a way to find the answers he was searching for. Siddhartha endured pain and fasting to near starvation as a means of following a disciplined life. When these things did not work, he had a realization that inflicting self-harm in these ways would not lead him to enlightenment or happiness. Thus, rather than living a life of extreme discipline, he promoted that people live a life of balance between indulgence and deprivation, which he called the middle way. It is said that following this discovery of the middle way, Siddhartha sat under a Bodhi tree. This is where he meditated until he received the answers he was after. He sat there for days, facing his inner demons, until at last he saw the way to the end of suffering. He had attained enlightenment and become the Buddha on this day. After his awakening, the Buddha had gained a community of followers, which he taught his insights of the way to end suffering to. Some of his teachings included what are referred to as the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the Middle Way, among other things. The rest of his life, the Buddha strove to help others end their own suffering and reach enlightenment for themselves.